Many have said there will come a moment. Well, this is the moment, because this ballot is like none ever cast. Now, I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm still a Republican. But this ballot is how we restore the soul of our nation, electing a good man, Joe Biden, and a trailblazer, Kamala Harris, and ensure an orderly transfer of power.
Don't kid yourself, folks, that takes guts. Former RNC chairman, friend of this broadcast, Michael Steele, formally endorsed Joe Biden in that new ad for the Lincoln Project and in a piece he wrote for our network. He's one of a growing number of prominent Republicans taking this opportunity to stand up to the president, and he's in good company, we quickly add. Also joining those ranks, retired Admiral William McRaven, who led the SEAL Team 6 operation that killed Osama bin Laden. He doesn't scare easily either. McRaven offered this rare and remarkable rebuke of the president.
This is about the future. It is the challenges that we are going to face in the future. Do we have a leader who knows how to build alliances, who knows how to build coalitions, who can bring the country together to tackle these tough challenges? President Trump has shown that he cannot do that. He can't do it domestically. He hasn't worked with the governors on everything from COVID to the wildfires, and he can't do it internationally. We've seen that both on COVID and on most of the major national security issues.
With us tonight, Steve Schmidt, longtime political strategist who led the McCain 08 campaign, has since left the Republican Party, and the aforementioned Michael Steele, former chairman of the Republican National Committee, former lieutenant governor of Maryland, now the host of the Michael Steele podcast. These two gentlemen have worked together during this campaign against the president, against Trump and Trumpism through their joint work with the Lincoln Project. Good evening and welcome to both of you. Michael, I've put together a graphic here of some prominent Republicans who are also voting for Biden: Colin Powell, Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, Flake Ridge, and Cindy McCain. Do you wish there were more?
I do. I do. I know that there are still those who, are quietly and secretly keeping their support for Joe Biden, undercover. But this is a moment that we all, as Republicans who believe in the foundational Lincoln-esque, ideas and values, we have to step into this moment. And it's hard. I'm not going to play this off as easy. Steve can tell you I had a heart-to-heart with my friend about this and what it meant. And but you realize when you're called to the moment. And I hope over the next 2 weeks that more Republicans who believe in those principles from Reagan, Eisenhower, the Bushes, and everyday Republicans out there, that you stand with us and with them in this moment.
Steve Schmidt, here's something you and your colleagues wrote. History chooses us. If you ever wondered what side of the Edmund Pettus Bridge you would have stood on, this is your chance to choose. Those who went before faced dogs and fire hoses, and yet they did not flinch. Steve, here's the question. Underway currently is what I like to call the Great Migration. Look at Ben Sasse. Look at John Cornyn. It's conceivable 6 months from now, Lindsey Graham will say he never met Donald Trump. This is the great walk back. The question to you is, what does the Republican Party, your lifelong party, look like after this election?
What I believe will happen, Brian, is that Donald Trump will be repudiated and humiliated in the election on November the 3rd. That many of these senators will be defeated. I'm certainly hopeful that Jamie Harrison will defeat Lindsey Graham in the South Carolina race, that Joni Ernst will be defeated, and all of these senators who stood idly by in this era, who gave Trump their silent, complicit acquiescence as he damaged this country in incalculable ways. They should, none of them, serve in national leadership. It should be a disqualification for future presidential races. And over time, you hope that the party party will rebuild with a more decent bunch of characters than we have now. But the bottom line is all of these senators have lashed themselves to Trump. It's going down, and the reality is that in defeat, the Republican Party is likely to become crazier. We'll have 30% of the country that never accepts the legitimacy of the election, the stab in the back, the betrayal, the conspiracy theory about how the election was stolen will become an article of faith for a majority of the Republican Party. You know, that also believes, for instance, that President Obama was a Muslim who was born in Kenya, despite all the contrary evidence that, in fact, he was not. He was a native-born American citizen. So the insanity is loose. You'll have more QAnon candidates, more conspiracy theorist candidates. And when Republicans go out of power, the part of the party that will seize power and seize total control is the entertainment wing of the GOP, the Fox News wing. And so the extremism is going to increase, not decrease, and defeat.
It's a lot to think about. We will do so. Both of these gentlemen have agreed to stay with us as we just fit in a quick break here. Coming up, we'll